This video has one of the most disturbing backstories. This video shows Adlai Mestre. He managed to escape an interrogation room after being left alone for a moment. This was after he ended his entire family in Tijeras, New Mexico, which is why this is some of the creepiest doorbell footage you'll ever see. A man is seen repeatedly throwing himself into the front door of his home. After slamming the door 3 times, the man appears to hit his head on the door and becomes dazed. He then falls backwards and begins flailing and moaning while being bent over the railing. After about 15 more seconds, the video ends. It is disturbing to think about what the man would have done if he had gained access to the home, especially since he's in a zombie-like state. This footage has the most disturbing backstory. This video shows Quantrell Schwartzlow as he escaped an interrogation room after being left alone for a moment. This was after he violated and strangled his girlfriend until she passed out, which is why this is some of the creepiest doorbell footage you'll ever see. A man is seen crawling up the stairs and trying to enter the home. Horrifyingly, the homeowner was home alone. The homeowner's husband sent over the neighbor to check on his wife. After checking things out and returning home, the neighbor got sent this video from the homeowner's husband. Who knows what the man would have done if he had gained access to the house. This is the most horrifying doorbell camera footage you'll ever see. A man is seen entering his home, followed shortly after by his wife. In the footage, you then see the wife look back, and that's when you see a masked man with a weapon sprint towards her. Luckily, the woman is able to close the door in time, and the perpetrator isn't able to get in. The man then turns his attention to the doorbell camera, and attempts to break it to destroy the evidence of the crime. This is the last time Skylar Neese would be seen alive. After climbing through her bedroom window, Skylar is seen in this video running towards her friend's car, sneaking away for a late night drive. Her so-called friends Rachel Soph and Sheila Eddy had confided in others and posted cryptic comments online suggesting they no longer wanted to be friends with Skylar. The girls drove Skylar to a wooded area in Pennsylvania and suggested that they all go for a walk. Rachel and Sheila would begin counting to 3 and then would pull out knives and stab Skylar over 50 times. After ending her, they would cover her body in debris and flee the area. Disturbingly, Sheila would post this message on her Twitter account alluding to what she had done. When Skylar didn't come home, her parents assumed that she'd just run away. As no sign of her appeared, suspicion began to grow around her 2 friends, Rachel and Sheila. Months later, with pressure building, Rachel would confess and lead police to Skylar's body. Rachel Soph would receive 30 years in prison with parole eligibility after 10 years. And Sheila Eddy would receive life in prison with parole eligibility after 15 years. Did you know The Conjuring was based off real-life events? The Conjuring follows Ed and Lorraine Warren, real paranormal investigators called to a Rhode Island farmhouse in 1971. Roger and Caroline Perron moved into the Rhode Island farmhouse in 1971 with their 5 daughters, Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April. The family, mostly Caroline and her daughters, saw full-body apparitions, heard noises, and smelled rotten odors, culminating in a terrifying seance performed with the help of the Warrens. The daughter Andrea told USA Today in 2013 that she secretly witnessed the alleged seance. My mother began to speak a language not known to this world, in a voice not of her own. Her chair levitated and she was thrown across the room. The Perrons eventually moved out and sold the home in 1980, which answers the question.
Okay, you have me joking? Okay. Anyway.
This footage shows Adlai Mestre in an interrogation room after annihilating his entire family. While in custody, Adlai made several incoherent and unusual statements. He would eventually admit to killing his family, but would later be found incompetent to stand trial due to his mental health, which would lead to him admitting, "This is the craziest footage on the internet." A news reporter is seen doing a segment on the attack of 9/11. In the middle of the segment, one of the towers collapses right next to him, sending himself, his crew, and everyone else fleeing, which is why this is the most horrifying doorbell camera footage you'll ever see. An older lady is seen approaching the front door of this residence. As she's doing so, it becomes apparent she's holding a knife or some other sharp object in her hand. She continues on like this, swaying and fiddling around with the knife in her hand. Although her motive remains unclear, she is presumably suffering from some type of mental illness. This unpredictability makes it scary to think about what she might have done had someone opened the door, which is why this is the most disturbing doorbell footage you'll ever see. A person in a clown costume is seen approaching the front door of this residence. The clown slowly makes its way up the stairs, tilting its head at the camera while doing so. Once they make it to the top of the stairs, they appear to really examine the camera. The sound of people is then heard off in the distance, and it seems to scare the clown away. It is scary to think about what the clown would have done if it wasn't scared away by the people in the area, which is why this video has a horrifying backstory. This CCTV footage shows Jesse Kempson entering his hotel with his 22-year-old Tinder date, Grace Mullane. Shortly after, Kempson is seen wheeling large suitcases out of his hotel room, and Grace was never seen coming out. Police would use this footage, along with many other forms of evidence, to convict Jesse Kempson of murder. He would be sentenced to life in prison. After the trial, it would come out that Kempson had a history of violence towards women. Today, Kempson remains in a New Zealand prison. This footage has the creepiest backstory. This footage shows serial killer Richard Ramirez in court. Ramirez is facing 13 counts of murder and numerous other felonies. In the footage, Ramirez can be heard saying, "Hail Satan," showing his lack of remorse for what he had done. He would be convicted and placed on death row, where he later died from B-cell lymphoma in 2013, which is why this video has the most disturbing backstory on the internet. This video shows teens recording a TikTok on Alki Beach in West Seattle in June 2020. They would happen to stumble upon a suitcase, and its contents would not only shock them, but the entire country. On June 9th, 2020, an argument broke out between Jessica Lewis, Austin Wenner, and their landlord, Michael Lee Dudley. During the argument, Dudley would end both Lewis and Wenner and stuff their bodies into the suitcase seen in this video. Michael Lee Dudley would be found guilty on 2 counts of second-degree murder and was sentenced to 46 years and 8 months in prison. This video has the most disturbing backstory. This footage shows Richard Ramirez in a police car, bruised and bandaged after facing street justice from residents of East Los Angeles. Locals recognized him from a wanted photo and chased him down and restrained him until police arrived. Ramirez started his crime spree in June 1984, breaking into homes where he murdered, violated, and robbed his victims. His crime spree included at least 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, along with a slew of other crimes, which is how